end up looking like that with a medium core. That's the final model, and I'm just showing that in the site so you can see. SAC's right here, so you walk by the entrance is right here, so you go inside the entrance. You have a little amphitheater there, so for all students, so they can interact, and you can do a lot of events in there. And this is the final drawings. These drawings were actually huge. I think these drawings like this size, and you have to fit all of them in the small portfolio. And I didn't include this project or the previous in my portfolio. These were my last two projects at SAC, but since I didn't, you have to apply before you moved on. Then I couldn't put these two projects in. I wanted to put them because they're the projects I like the most, but I ended up not doing that. Actually, I have to do another portfolio for work, and I know I'm like taking a lot of this stuff and redoing the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but I'm maybe adding some stuff in Photoshop, or in the sections I'm adding the sky or the insert to look more professional. And if you go to the next, these are the final drawings for I'm missing columns here. On the sides, and this is the final drawing for the student dormitories at SAC, and we'll do sections. And I want it to stay sustainable, so I have a lot of sustainable issues in here. And next, that's the final model that I did for San Antonio, and did good, so the one turned out good, good grade. And this is now what I'm going to show now. I spent 1 year in Barcelona, so 2 semesters in Barcelona, and I did 1 semester at UTA and 1 over summer. Good program about UTA, study abroad programs are very good. Not a lot of people apply for it, but you can go. I know you can go to like 10 different countries. You can go to Germany, as long as you speak the language, of course, because they don't teach the classes in English. Maybe 1 school or 2. I have no idea which schools, but I know in Barcelona. They told me it was Spanish. No, it's not Spanish, it's Catalan. Anyways, I understand a little bit of it. And it was fun, just like 30%. I took 7 classes in there. 4 classes were in Catalan and 3 classes were in Spanish. It was okay, still similar to Spanish, so you know, maybe you can try it. And but this project is at UTA. The first, after you're done with SAC, the first year at UTA, well, the first semester for next studio, you have to study a residential building. Like every professor does that. You have to study a residential building and do parties and do try to come up with the concept that the architect had. So maybe you can analyze the building to see maybe he's thinking of this, maybe that. But you have to have several ideas of how he started the project or how he did the project. So you do a residential. It's like a precedent. But you have to do it at the beginning, so you won't have to do one yourself. The teacher gives you a precedent, like study this. He doesn't tell you what you're gonna do later on. Maybe you do a house, maybe you do a residential building. Maybe you don't know, but you have to study 2 precedents, and he'll give you those precedents. So you study the precedents, and then at the end, I did a house. I had to do a house. So this is my partie sketch. The first one that I had. It was this is a project. We have to do 7 houses in here. This is my area right here, and everyone had a different client. My client was a landscape architect and a girl that was like an orchid cultivator. She was lady or engaged and had to do a house for both of them. So my main idea was to stay green in terms of landscape, and they wanted a feature on the house besides the greenhouse that the lady needed for the orchids. So my feature was I wanted to have like a little garden outside the space, and I wanted to have a roof garden so they can access it from both rooms. And I needed 2 rooms, one for the couple, one for the kid, and that's pretty much it. Those are this partie, and I did like 4 or 5 simple models. This is my concept model, and then I started developing more and more so I can come up with the final idea, which is you're going to see later. Those are just main ideas about structure and light and like brise that I did in there because I wanted to stay, didn't want to use enough energy or anything, just want to stay a little very sustainable. You click to the next. This is just thinking process. I want to show. I just put up this so you can see the clothes that I had, and I had a lot of small little dark closet versus void circulation, public versus private, all that kind of stuff. Next. And this is the final product. And yeah, 2 entrances. That's the back entrance. This is the front entrance. And what else? I'm not looking like. This is all supposed to be grass. Maybe you see one in the model. You next to the model. And that's this material. It's still wood, but it's like the corrugated wood. That's supposed to be grass. So you get the idea of how it's going to be. And we needed this spacing here because that was a greenhouse, and it needed to be big for for the sun and circulation of the air, and you have to have louvers for circulation on both sides. And that's how it ended up looking like. And then my next projects are going to be for the 2 classes I spent in Barcelona. I'm only showing you 2 projects that I did over there. And here we had to do a hotel in the beach near Barcelona, called La Selva. And it was so different to learn over there because depending on the teacher that you pick, the teacher that I picked, I'm used to like Boboslav and Mr. giving me the site so I can study the site and then start doing my thinking process on the site and then start overlapping stuff from the site and relating everything to the site or to the context. But in here, they told me, no, we're not going to give you the site first. We're going to give you, you have to do 2 units for one for 2 persons, one for 4 persons, and then 2 units that can adapt to anything, to any terrain that you can possibly imagine. The only terms that the terrain might be a little curvy, so I was trying to do something that could stay within the margin, so I wouldn't have to change that much of the landscape later on. And these were just simple partie diagrams that I wanted to do. I had units that come together like this, so you can have a lot of different shapes, so they could adapt to the terrain. And that's my first model. They already get to the terrain after that, and that was my first model that I did just as a concept model, so they can know what I was thinking about. And so this is it. You have to do a unit. I was doing a unit first, and then this is just for 2 persons, and this is all squared over there. Just a small render about the place. And if you would overlay, like you would put this room here, and then you switch it around, and you could create a lot of shapes. So that's basically what they're doing. And this is just the 2-unit room, which is basically the same thing, just analyzing the views, and you have calculation, and you want to keep this hotel very sustainable too.
If I can, this is the first time I've seen computer rendering. All your work previously has been handwork and model.
Yeah. All at SAC I did was like handwork. The rendering at UTA, you start doing renderings until your last year, and I'm actually missing 4 classes, and 2 of those are like the rendering stuff. So all I'm doing here is I'm only done. I know how to use Revit. I'm starting to use Revit, but all the renders that I'm going to show are SketchUp and our plant is well, that's pretty much it. But in Barcelona, like everyone, whenever actually all my drawings in Barcelona were by hand. So all the teachers they thought I was like weird guy. But they loved me for that because they were like by hand. They always told me, man, you remind us of us whenever we brought all the papers. And everyone had printed out. Now I brought my SketchUp, my sketch paper, and I would open it up, and they were like, okay. It's just amazing for them that I was still drawing. The good thing about that is that if you, for example, in here, I stay drawing the whole time, and at UTA, you have to draw also. In the 3rd year, you can do computer, but it's like in here, mainly everyone draws because it's just easier to see what you're thinking by drawing, and it's faster, and it ends up okay because we can show the exit to the professor. Of course, if you have the time to do the render at the end, and do it. So if you do a render by computer, then you can have like a million views instead of just one. So over there, we're all doing computer renderings and stuff like that. So like I'll do 1 or 2 so they can see that I can do it, but I'll do it mainly by hand. So I basically stayed with hand, and it was fine. They didn't care. They're like, if you do it by hand, better, because we would prefer everyone would go by hand, but somehow they don't enforce it. They prefer it, they don't enforce it, which is weird. And if we do the next, they're just like simple renderings of the first main idea that I wanted to have, which is this thing that could adapt to any type of terrain. Next. And this is the Port de la Selva, this is the beach, and just like close up over the Montenegro, and that's where my hotel is going to be. This is the highest area, this is the lowest area, so it's all going downhill. You see the sections in a second. Next. That's the main hotel, and the shape of the terrain, like you can barely see it here. It would all go like this, and I wanted to stay, like whenever they really enforce us to see, to say, whenever you're building, you're taking a lot of land, so you put it in the truck, you have to take it away. That's going to take energy, so you don't want to do that. You want to stay within the margin of the terrain. So the earth you take out from here, you want to put it in here, or at least, of course, you can take some out, but you want to stay close to it. So they really enforce that. You stay in the margin of the topography. So if you click next, it's just the next level. This is just some sections. This is by hand actually, and I just touched a little bit in Photoshop, and they were okay with it as long as I presented that way. So the hotel, these are the shapes that are like the curvy like. This one too is the main element. So we have the reception here, and this whole thing is like the lobby, the reception, and underneath you have the restaurant and the rooms were all down here. So mainly pretty much it. That's the elevation going down. That's just from top. I had that. And that's pretty much it. All the roofs were accessible. So whenever you were on top, you had a lot of terraces. Like the main idea of all the students was whenever you're down and you're looking towards the hotel, they wanted you to think that it was still a mountain. For me, it was the other way around. For me, it was I don't want the passengers to don't think it's a hotel. I want the passengers I want the clients that are using the building. Whenever they look down, they're all going to see green roofs. They're always going to think they're in a mountain. Instead of the guys walking by thinking that's a mountain, I wanted the persons that were using the hotel thinking that was still a mountain. That was still very green space. So it's a different idea that I have over there. And we click next. This is another project that I did in Barcelona. We have to do a library. And for the library, it was a small library that municipal city had to do. And that's mainly my thinking process. This is the first time I showed my thinking process in terms of technology as a schedule. So I'm just showing you grid, and I'm just showing starting to show the pieces that I took off. Of course, from getting to that point took me a lot of time just by drawing. And over there, they wanted me to show computers inside. I already showed all the drawings. They wanted me to show at the end. This more like professional. How to show it. You click next, and that's the site. That's my building in the render, and that's my building. This is my building. This is a police station I use, very small. And this is the whole area that we're working on, and I just put my building in there so I can relate it to the whole context. And the problem over there is like you have to show in Barcelona. You have to hold a lot of structure, a lot of you have to do AC, where does the AC go, what type of I-beams you're using, if you're using I-beams, what type of columns are you using, which number of columns are you using, is it concrete, is it any, you have to show everything. The problem like over there, whenever they graduate, they're kind of graduated as engineers also, so they can do the building by themselves. But it was kind of hard on the structures, because you had 4 teachers, one was for design, the other one was for technology, the other one was for construction, and the other one for structures. So in technology, he was like, what's the clearance for the AC? Which type of AC are you using? Is your AC going to be on top, on bottom? Is your AC going to go from top to bottom? Or they would ask you everything. That was hard, because since they don't teach that much things about AC at UTA that they would do in Barcelona, so I learned that a little bit about that.